Good morning, Jeff. Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning, Sarah.
So, there are two things that happened in Iowa this week. And the first one, oh, look at balloons. Yes, we're celebrating.
Yes.
Um, I saw three big fat robins this morning on my way into work. And I don't know if this is just Iowa talk, but this is a big thing. When we see robins, it really means that spring is coming. We
Okay.
may we may have another blizzard, but it will only last for a couple days. But I don't know that I've ever seen robins in February before Valentine's Day. So I'm really pumped. Now, the second
Yeah.
thing that happened in Iowa has to do with this man right here, Jeff Renovere. He
Uh-oh.
has spent the whole week in Iowa, and Jeff, it's been fun. And you have gotten in front of all of our agents and you have pumped us up and helped us to get focused on getting some listings
Well,
and reaching
thank
out to
you.
our sphere of influence.
Yes. 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 I mean, what an amazing segue for me,
It
Sarah.
is. It is. That's what I
Yeah.
tried to do. I tried to tee us up.
That was fantastic. It was like you were a reporter on a news channel. So it was fantastic. Um, Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. I wasn't quite sure where you're going with the robin piece, but like in Montana, if we start to see skunks like on the side of the road, like that's when we know like spring's right around the corner. So I don't know. Kelsey has not shared with me if she's seen any skunks of late, but I,
That's
yeah,
funny. I mean, skunks are gross though. At least
I
we have
totally know.
robins in
There's
Iowa.
I
So
know
Jeff,
robin's much cuter.
much cuter. And ours are really big and fat
Yes,
lately. They're not
yes,
the
that's good.
scrawny, ugly ones. They are
Okay,
big, fat. It's awesome. Well,
wonderful.
you have to let us know then in the next couple weeks, but I doubt it. You're up much further north. Hi, Chris. Um,
I know.
that yeah, I bet you won't see skunks for another couple weeks. But
I
we
I
digress,
We
Jeff.
have, we have. No one cares my opinion or prediction on when Montana will turn to spring. So I'll save you all the details. Guys, good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you for allowing me to be here. As Sarah mentioned, I've spent the better part of 4 days here in beautiful Des Moines, Iowa, connecting with agents, but also I finally like got to teach and I got to train and I got to do all those things. And everybody, so it's interesting. I go from office to office, heck, market to market, and they're like, Jeff, I need some way to connect with our people. Oh, okay. So why don't you do this, this, or this? Like, but I've never done that before, and I don't want to sound salesy. Oh, that's what the real hangup is. So what we've been thinking about and talking about and discussing about at the managing director level is like, okay, how do we make our agents better at their craft? How can we as an organization continue to make our agents better at being better salespeople or being better realtors or being better people, just in general, the talk tracks, the flow, the figuring out what truly is the why of somebody so that you as a salesperson, hear me when I say this, please, our job as salespeople is to help someone make a decision that helps themselves. Help people make a decision that helps themselves. So that is what we're all about. So our job right now, our focus, I should say, has been on listings, because when you have listings, you control the market. When you have listings, you control the market. Last week, we talked about the listing marketing packages, the impact that those have, because if deployed properly, you should be getting 3 opportunities in addition to the listing that you currently have. So, why wouldn't I have a marketing package that would help me get out in front of more buyers and sellers? Well, that seems silly. Now the next question is, Jeff, what in the world do I say? So before, we just simply say, call your sphere of influence. Because I'll tell you what, I worked at a company one time. I said, what should I do? They're like, we'll call the people in your database. But my database is like 5 people. Well, then grab the yellow pages. Like that was the strategy. And now you're like, well, it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. But all right, let's just figure out what this was. But like you didn't have any idea what to say. You didn't know what value needed to be bringing. Everybody would hang up on me. No kidding. Because they feel like you're bugging the heck out of them. So one way that I really, really, really want to hammer home today is this simple concept of an email. Oh my God, Jeff, I'm allowed to email somebody? Yes. I'm allowed to text somebody? Yes. I would prefer it if you called them, but I understand sometimes even the strongest and best real estate agents don't feel like being talkative that day. So here's an idea. Here's something that I want you guys to consider. So next time you get a list, actually, let me first start off by this. So Sarah, I'll pick on you. Sarah, the last listing you had, did you yes or did you no let your entire database know about that listing that you were bringing on the market?
No, I did not.
Can I ask why?
Because we were in the middle of setting up CBIQ.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hadn't transferred my people, and I don't know if I would have done it anyway.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
So my question is, why? Why wouldn't you want your people to know about a listing that's coming on the market? Well, Jeff, they just bought from me 3 months ago. That's cool. I'm not asking if Sarah's past client wants to buy the darn thing, but maybe Sarah's past client has somebody who's looking for that. So it's very, very simple. Here's what you guys are going to do. You're going to send an email with the subject line, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes. And then in the body of your email, it's simply going to say this: we just launched a new listing here in fill in the blank neighborhood at 123 Main Street, but I wanted to give you access to the behind the scenes photos that are not on Zillow. Now, I don't care if they're on Zillow, but make sure that they're like, just, you get what I'm saying, okay? Then here are 18 secret photos showing you the entire home. If you want a private tour, shoot me a reply. Your 18 secret photos is a link to your Dropbox, to your wherever else your portal is that you upload your photos. It is not, and I repeat, it is not a link to the Zillow website. It is not a link to a landing page. This is the raw, real, edited, unedited, don't care, but this is where the folder lives of all the pictures, okay?
So
Because
like
the
the pictures of the ugly laundry room or the half bath that
maybe
didn't
like
make the cut.
yeah, and I know some markets have unlimited photos, some have like a cap. But regardless, like your photographer for most places will give you 100 photos. And you're like, well, there I have 17 of the roof, but maybe there's 2 that I would show, right? Like you get what I'm saying, right? There's multiple pictures that didn't quite make the behind the scenes piece or make the director's cut, whatever the case may be. So now you have an opportunity to show them the entire house. But the reality is we want them to say, holy smokes, Jeff just sent me something that even on the market is not even on the market. I feel pretty damn special, okay? We're trying to engage. So some people always, I'm not sending my listings to the people in my database. I would challenge you and ask you this one question: why not? So start doing that, all right? If that's a strategy you want to do, start doing it. Yes, Sarah.
Okay, so here's another reason why I don't do that or haven't done it in the past, because I don't list a lot of homes, Jeff.
Okay.
Yet.
Right.
But then when I only send them 2 of these emails a year, then they're going to think I'm not very busy.
So they're not, because believe it or not, I know they love you. They like you a lot. They trust you. They ain't paying that much attention to you.
So I'm overthinking that part.
You most certainly are in between your ears.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So it's the same concept when somebody gets a new listing. When they say just listed, or heck, remember when we were allowed to do coming soons, and that was the only way you could sell something? So you had the just listed or the coming soon, then it went to pending, then you might have had an open house, then it went to pending, then it sold, right? So you had 4 opportunities minimum of a post on social media. The consumer looks at him and be like, oh my God, that's 4 different properties. She's on fire. He's on fire. They're doing so many things. They're not realizing that it's the same house. It's the same house. You're using the same font. You're doing all the same stuff. It's branded the same way. You just might use a different picture. And then your caption is different, like one step closer. Oh my gosh, it's sold, right? Like all the different things. Like you guys have to stop overthinking this stuff. 100%.
Okay, one more question from Becky.
Okay.
I'm new. I have no listings. Should I share listings from other agents I work with?
I would first make sure you're allowed to, so you need their permission. I would say yes.
I think it's a great idea
are
too.
uncomfortable with it. Now, I've heard some crazy techniques in the past where some people have put listed by Sarah Cavalier at the very, very top, or like in Zillow, they'll bury it down at the bottom. It's up to you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Becky. I think we answered that.
But I'll tell you what, one of our agents in Bozeman told me this story. She was at a global luxury event. This was a few years ago in Utah, and person, and I don't know if they were a speaker or if she just met this person, but the long and the short of it was this person who was new to, I think they were in Miami or like Fisher Island, like crazy pricing, right? Got up and would go on broker tours and whatnot and be like, oh my God, look at me. Like the organic, not the professional stuff. Like I'm just going to grab my cellular mobile and I'm going to take a couple vids. And I'm at here at 123 Main Street. It's this beautiful home that's backing up to, whatever the body of water that they have down there outside of the Atlantic Ocean. It's 7,500 square feet. It's 17 bedrooms, 24 bathrooms, listed at $1 bajillion. And that was it. People thought he was the one listing it because they didn't read all the way down, right? Like he even said, hey, this is broker opened by Sally Sue at XYZ Realty, but they didn't hear that piece. All they were doing was looking at the house, reading and listening to what it was that he was saying. So guess what? In about an absolute nanosecond, he became one of the top salespeople in that marketplace. Guys, the stuff's out there. It's public information. Leverage these opportunities so that you can be informative and you be in the know, because it is our job to understand and make sure that we are aware of everything that's on the market, regardless of price point. Be the smartest dude in the room. Be the smartest dudette in the room. It's okay. I promise you. So right now, another easy way, in my humble opinion, to connect with people is through the insurance script. Jeff, what in the world are you talking about? Well, Sarah, like yourself, I have an appointment similar to you with my insurance provider. I'm always asked every single year, what's the new updated value of my home? I don't know if I'm overinsured or underinsured. It would take me about 3 minutes to do for you. Is that something that you would find valuable? Like, guys, this one's pretty simple, right? Like, use the insurance script to simply say, hey, listen, like, and for the record, I go and see my insurance provider in 10 days. Like, it's on my calendar to have this conversation with him. And so it's just a matter of saying, all right, well, I got to make sure that we have the updated value of the home. In a catastrophic event, I want to make sure that the largest asset in my portfolio is properly insured. That's important to me. I find it might be important to most people. Is that something you would find of value? You're not asking to sell their house. You're not asking to buy their house. You're just simply saying, hey, is this sheet of paper, this valuation, something you'd be interested in? Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think it was in November, December, our rental unit had a sewer backup.
Okay.
And thank goodness I had coverage for it because it paid for every penny. That would be a great opportunity to use that story and remind people. And then you get to promote your favorite insurance agent or your top 3 insurance agents, because without that coverage, ouch, like that would have sucked big. So
big time.
Thanks for letting me to share that in there. But there's sometimes I wouldn't have known had I not had a really great insurance agent. And so now I can share that knowledge with others.
And we live in parts of the country that have just these extreme, bitter, cold pieces. And anyone who's ever walked into a house that had a pipe burst, it's an absolute nightmare. It is an absolute nightmare. One of my other favorite things from a social standpoint, I know I'm kind of bouncing around a little bit, but a lot of people have buyers right now. They're like, oh my God, if they could just find something They're the ones who are like, I don't care what the interest rate is. Just find me this house. I have to be in one in 90 days. Otherwise, my kid's kicked out of the school district. Sounds extreme, but it's more frequent than you think, right? So it's simple. Like, here's something that you can involve community with, because this is a relationship business, but we have to rely and ask for help for other people. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to get your cute little self. You're going to go to IG or Facebook Live, whatever, just shoot a video. And it's simply, hey guys, it's Jeff. I have a buyer with these needs. Please DM me if you have any thoughts of selling, know somebody I should contact, or better yet, guys, it's Jeff Renovere, Coldwell Banker, Distinctive Properties. I need a favor, a huge favor. I have 3 families that are in need of a home in the next 90, 120 days, and I need your help. Hopefully you can help these guys out. Let me tell you about family number 1. And you give a recap of family number 1. Newlyweds, they have 3 children. Do not use names. I don't think I have to say it, but I feel like I need to say it. Like, oh, the Smith family who lives on Banana Street is in dire need of this. Like, let's keep their sort of identity protected, but just go out. You'd be shocked at the amount of feedback that the people who are already know, like, and trusting you, who are following you on social media, be like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, or oh my gosh, I know somebody, right? Like, you'd be shocked at that type of interaction. And guess what? It makes you human, right? It makes you human. They want to relate to you guys. Always, always, always remember that. Using that same type of a deal through an email campaign, or even just an email to your CRM. Guys, I'm in dire need of this. This is what I'm looking for. Who do you know? How can you help? All that kind of fun stuff. Circle dialing in your neighborhood. Jeff, I do not circle prospect. That's cool. You're not asking to buy. You're not asking to sell. You're just simply giving information because, Sarah, would you believe, or do you believe, that every time a house sells in a neighborhood, that it directly impacts the value of your home if you live in that neighborhood? What's the answer?
Yes.
The answer is an absolute yes. So, hey, Sarah, Jeff Renovere, Coldwell Banker, Distinctive Properties. I don't know if you know, but the Johnsons at 123 Banana Street just listed their home. What that means typically is you'll start to see maybe a few more cars driving through the neighborhood. Heck, there might even be an open house. I just wanted to let you know that that's what's happening. If you have any concerns, any questions, please feel free to give me a call. So guys, what's amazing about that opportunity, if this is, especially think of this as a geo farm, the area that you're trying to absolutely dominate, you can use that talk track even if it's not your listing. Well, inevitably they're going to ask, well, where are the Johnsons going? I don't know. What's the price? Well, the price is $555. Well, how long has it been on the market? 14 seconds. So I thought I'd call you and let you know. So then when it moves to pending, again, not your listing or your listing. Hey, Sarah, it's Jeff Renovere again. Listen, I called you last time when I told you, well, guess what? As fate would have it, they were able to get their home under contract pretty quickly. Well, Jeff, what did it sell for? Well, Sarah, we won't know until it closes. But I mean, right now, historically, if it goes under contract in less than a week, chances are that thing's at or above listing price or near it. So one could assume that they're probably near that 555 mark. It's set to close 3 months from now, 30 days from now, doesn't matter. I'll call you with the details when it closes. And oh, by the way, Sarah, you're going to have a new neighbor. That's kind of cool too. Click, boom, right? I'm not asking for anything for Sarah. So then when it sells, I get to do the same thing. Hey, Sarah, congratulations. You got a new neighbor. The Johnsons did close. Like we spoke before, remember my guess was maybe at or right below. It went above it. It went above it. Imagine that, right? Who would have thought? Still multiple offers in the situation. It sold for this. Boom, 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 boom. Have you do you currently know the new value of your home, right? So there's that hook, right? There's that call to action piece. What did Jimmy say?
It's a lot. It's good. You read it, Jeff.
Okay. Mr. Klager, if you send an email with an embedded video to 500 people in your CRM asking for help, and 2 of them respond, guess what? 5 minutes of work just landed you on 2 leads. 2 listings. Amazing. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was just talking with an agent here in the metro office, and she was telling me how she was doing sort of like an expired campaign, and I'm going to protect her identity. But she was saying, she goes, well, I'm doing this, and it's time of year, and I go, well, how many like do you do? And she goes, well, 50. I said, what does that typically get you? And she goes, anywhere from like 2 to 3 new listings. I'm like, 4 to 6% capture rate? Like, that's insane. And she goes, oh, I guess when you put it that way, I'm like, so why don't we do 100? Why don't we do 150? Like, you get what I'm saying? So to Jimmy's point, she's doing the same amount of work. Now we're just going to expand who we're going to send it to, right? Very, very, very simple process in order to scale. So Jimmy, thank you so much for sharing that. How are we doing on time, Sarah?
Well, I was just gonna say that, Jeff. It's
Okay.
10, it's 20 after.
Okay. All right.
And are you gonna, I want to ask you to please
Sure.
talk about the pending ratio again,
Oh, you got it.
because that was really good stuff that I think most of us in Iowa had not heard before. And so let's make sure that this blows up just amongst us, just
Sure.
amongst friends,
Yep.
because it's so good. And I
Well,
think it's
thank
important
you.
as the spring market starts to.
Yeah, because it's going to help navigate conversations with both buyers and sellers. Because right now, sellers like buyers aren't buying. Oh, okay. Buyers are saying, hey, listen, there's no inventory. Oh, okay. So the concept is simply this, and my wife has to constantly remind me. She goes, Jeff, people don't do the math like you do, so you got to like slow the hell down. I go, what are you talking about? 5 over 10 is 50%. Everybody knows that. No, what I found is real estate agents are really good at taking obscure numbers like $772,414.57 and multiplying by 2.75, and they know the answer because there's your GCI, right? But you can't do simple math. You'll do this crazy complex algebra piece. So the long and the short of it is simply this. It was really funny because Peter called me earlier today, and he said the same thing. He goes, okay, dude, that was awesome. Tell me how I go and figure that piece out. So in Iowa, you guys use the same platform that we use in Montana. And that's where I obviously cut my teeth on this. So I was able to really, really help them. Super simple, right? And so what we do is whatever your time frame is, and let me back up. So where this came from was the early onset of COVID, right? Just a little over almost 4 years now. And like days on market was one thing, but that like the reality is like that's 60, 90, sometimes even 180 day old data. And I was so panicked to know, all right, what's actually happening right now in our market in Bozeman, Montana, or in Gallatin County where we live. And so I stumbled across this concept, and it did not take me very long to be like, holy smokes, that's the holy grail, because it tells me the health of the market, the confidence in the market right that second. And I think that's important data. And so here's what it is in an absolute nutshell. So if you knew, based off of your criteria, whether it's by city, area, it doesn't matter. Your criteria is this simply. You put in 30 days, so 1/1/24 through 1/31/24, and there's a tab somewhere in your searchables that would have the listing contract date. The listing contract date, not the day that it hit the MLS, but the date the agent has to put in the MLS that matches up with what? The actual listing paperwork. Because if they were audited and those numbers were different, someone's in trouble. Okay? So now in that 30-day span, we figured out how many new listings have actually hit the market. Not active, not sold, not pendings. I wanted to know exactly how many new listings have hit the market. So for this sake of this scenario, let's just use the number 100. All right, so now we have 100 properties that have come onto the market. Then I'm simply going to cut that little 1/1 through 131 out, move it to the next line, which is and this is a field that could vary from market to market, but it could be under contract date, pending date. It could just be contract date. But then I just cut that, paste it in there, and it's going to spit out a different number. And that number is how many properties in that same period of time have moved to a pending status. Now, before you say, well, Jeff, can't you just do that with the overall pending piece? The answer is no, because the data is not completely accurate. That data will say, okay, hey, these are the properties that are still pending in the last 30 days, still pending. Some have closed already. So I wanted to know exactly how many properties moved from any active status to pending status in that period of time. So again, for the sake of argument, let's say 73 homes or properties moved to a pending status. 73 over 100. I know not everybody's great at math, but that's 73%. Here's the thing that's important. Anything deemed above 50% or more is considered a seller's market. So why is that information powerful? So now you get to have the conversation. Sarah said, hey, Jeff, I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell this spring and I don't even care. Why wait? Well, no one's buying right now. Well, that's interesting, Sarah. What's your source? Well, cousin Vito lives in a basement in Jersey. He said the sky is falling. No one's buying. Interest rates are crazy. Oh, that's interesting. I love cousin Vito. He makes a great tortellini. But here's the thing. My data tells me this. How would you interpret that? And then you explain to him what that actually is. And I like, no seller's like, oh, wow, I never thought of it like that. Because it's just a math equation that we just never thought of. So that's the pending ratio in a nutshell.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And there may be lots of questions about that. So
have them call me.
Yeah.
Guys, call me. Here, here's what we'll do. Watch this. I'll give you my cell number, put it in the deal.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. That's going to be in the chat, everyone. And Jeff, we're coming up on 27 for the hour. Oh, there we go. There's the digits, everyone. Jeff, let's wrap this up.
Sure. So guys, right now, more importantly than anything, is all about connection. Connection. If you remember, every time you have a phone call, a face-to-face, heck, even just texting correspondence back and forth, if you are helping people make decisions that help themselves, you will be the greatest asset in their life. Personal help. I mean, you are there to help these people make amazing decisions that are going to help themselves. And a lot of them, like myself, the largest asset in my portfolio is the single family home that I live in with my family. So if Sarah can show me a way to, hey, Jeff, are you living in the home? The answer is absolutely not, but I don't want to pay. I got a 3%. Like, guys, there's ways around this. If I can just get that needle going back from logical to emotional. Sometimes I got to move the needle back from emotional back to illogical, but the deal is you just have to engage in conversations. And here's one more thing, guys, if you don't know your options, you don't have any. Guess who doesn't know all of their options? Our consumers. And it's not their fault. It's our fault for not telling them. So hope that was helpful. Thank you guys for being here. Have an absolutely amazing weekend and keep up the amazing work, guys.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, everyone. Travel home safely and see you all next week for Focus Friday. Oh, and it's Valentine's Day next Wednesday. Remember to treat your loved ones.
Thank you, Sarah, for the friendly reminder.
All right. Bye.
Bye.